Good day, brothers and sisters. As promised, today we have Alyssa Bormas as your instructor. Alyssa is an instructor at Chesterton Academy. She's a parishioner at Holy Family in St. Louis Park. She is an instructor in the Catechetical Institute for the Archdiocese, and she collaborates with Kelly Walquist, the director of the Institute and the founder of WINE, Women in the New Evangelization. And Alyssa works with Kelly in that beautiful apostolate. Many of you might know Alyssa through or as the author of this little gem, The Catechism of Hockey. I would not have thought of that. Alyssa did. It's her way of proclaiming the gospel, the truths of the church through hockey. But let's listen to Alyssa now.
Adoration is a time of peace, and my invitations to adoration came from two people. First, my grandma, and then Bishop Dudley, both of happy memory, and I'll tell you about them today. When I was a little girl, my grandma had time to linger with me, more time to linger with me than my parents did, of course, because she was a grandma, and you never want to underestimate your power as a grandparent. So we would play cards, and sometimes it was Go Fish. I think our favorite was King's Corners, and she also taught me cribbage. But in the midst of those, she would catechize me. And one of the things that she taught me about was adoration and how important it was, how to act in adoration, how what we're there for, that it's Jesus right there in the Eucharist with us. And I never forgot her little catechism lessons. One of the things she also did was help me memorize prayers. I knew some basic prayers, but I remember in 5th grade, I had to memorize the Hail, Holy Queen. And she was the one, while we were lingering, playing cards, or whatever we were doing, and she taught me the Hail, Holy Queen, helped me memorize it for school. She passed away in 1985, but I never forgot the lessons that she taught me. Well, the years also passed, and I was no longer a little girl. I'd left and I was on my own. But in leaving my home, I also left the church, and I was gone for 17 years. And in the dark years, I call those years the dark years. In the dark years, sometimes I would just recall the prayers. Of course, I remembered the Hail Mary, the Our Father, and the Glory Be. But I remember that one prayer that my grandma taught me, the Hail, Holy Queen, but all I could remember was the first line, Hail, Holy Queen, Mother of Mercy. And I would just pray that line over and over. I wish I'd remembered the rest of it. That's all I remembered. Now, just to pause, you might think, well, why didn't you look it up on the internet? It was before the internet. Or why didn't you go to a church and it would just be in a folder that taught, or a little pamphlet that taught you how to pray the rosary. I didn't go to church. And so there I was with just the first line of the Hail, Holy Queen, especially in the darkest times. My life had become unmanageable. But in the early 2000s, maybe late 90s, early 2000s, I returned to the church. And just to pause and stop in, I didn't really mean to stay. And I would go to church, and then I would hear them ask for volunteers for something. I would think, I'm not going to volunteer for anything. If I volunteer, I'm going to have to talk to somebody, which is a hoot. Here I am talking to you. Anyway, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I was so nervous about being there. Well, one day there was a priest who came and he spoke about adoration, encouraging us to go to sign up for an adoration hour for the 24-hour adoration chapel. And he said the need in the middle of the night was particularly great. And he also said that there were graces that came in the middle of the night. I didn't understand what graces were, but I did understand this. I was a night owl, and I could go and volunteer in the middle of the night. And if I understood this right, all I had to do was walk in, sign a book. I'd walk into the chapel. The person who was there beforehand would leave. They didn't even talk to me. and I would just pray for an hour, and then an hour later, someone else would walk in, sign a book, come into the chapel, and I could leave. And I thought, this is perfect, the best kind of volunteering. And then I thought the other thing is if someone else asked me to volunteer, I would think, oh, I don't think you know, I volunteer for an hour of adoration. I couldn't possibly, I'm volunteered out. Well, Jesus will take you as you are, and then he'll have you do other things later. But I really thought, this is perfect. I have my volunteer thing down, and I won't have to do anything else. But so many other things happened in adoration that I didn't expect. I would go at midnight, and there I was for an hour, and I knew enough from the homily and from my grandma that I should pray during adoration. And so that's what I began to do. There was a little library of books, and I would go and grab one of the books, and I would meet the saints. I would meet, I'd learn a different teaching of the church, or I'd become able to understand what I had rejected years earlier. And so there I was in adoration at midnight, and two things happened: peace and healing. And I also understood that God was desiring me. It wasn't me just desiring him. This unbelievable understanding that he was there with me and desiring me to be there. So there was the night I decided to pray the rosary. Now, I knew how to pray the rosary if I followed, but I didn't know how to pray the rosary on my own, and certainly not how to lead it. And whenever we got to the Hail, Holy Queen, I just sort of mumbled because I didn't know it. And so this night I was there praying the rosary, and I had a pamphlet, of course, teaching me how to pray it for real. And about 20 minutes into the hour, I got to the Hail, Holy Queen, and it just hit my heart. This prayer my grandma had taught me in 5th grade was now right here. And I saw those words, Hail, Holy Queen, Mother of Mercy. I just started to cry, and I could feel my grandmother spiritually with me to teach me again. And the rest of the hour I spent relearning the Hail, Holy Queen, rememorizing the Hail, Holy Queen with my grandma spiritually with me. It was so beautiful. It was an unbelievable place of healing. And then another time, I had a great lesson of adoration from Bishop Paul Dudley of happy memory. He is my spiritual father, and I would be able to spend time with him. He also had the ability to linger with me and to bring me home. He was retired by the time I was coming back to the church. One day he taught me about adoration, and he said that a young priest had taught him this method of prayer, but I don't remember the name of the young priest, so to him, thank you as well. But this to me is Bishop Dudley's hour of adoration. And he said to me, imagine even an old bishop like me can learn something new. And so this is what he taught me. Thank you, teach me, and take over. Thank you, teach me, take over. And that any time you spend in adoration should be broken up in thirds. A third of thank you, a third of teach me, and a third of take over. So if it's an hour of adoration, that's 20 minutes each. Wow, well, 20 minutes. It doesn't seem that long until you start saying thank you for things you run out after 25 seconds or something. You think, now what am I going to do? So he gave me an idea. Every time I should start with my conception, birth, and baptism to thank God for that. And then anything in between for 20 minutes to say thank you for all the things in between that led me to that very moment of adoration. And that would be my last thank you for bringing me here to this adoration. So 20 minutes, you have to learn things to thank God for. Well, of course, easy things are family, friends, my education, joyful moments. But then the surprises, and he told me to look for these as well. The surprises of the difficult moments of your life, to thank God for those as well. Now, it could be something as easy as thank you, God, for the 4th grade overdue book incident. It was the beginning of me learning responsibility for sure. But then otherwise, the deeper, difficult moments, those major life decisions that maybe you had made wrong, you made a mistake in making them. And now you've come to understand the lesson from your bad decision, and to thank God for that lesson. To thank God for every decision that led you to being there at Adoration on that night or that day. I'm so grateful for all these lessons, and I'm grateful for the 20 minutes of thank you. If you're going to do 20 minutes of thank you, be prepared to dig in. You're going to find memories that you didn't know were hanging around. And one of the things that happens with those memories, to say thank you for that memory, that healing can come to it, and peace. Just the being in front of Christ in the Eucharist. Thank you. So beautiful. Then 20 minutes of teach me. Here's another one. I start with main topics and then I would break them down. So some of my main topics: teach me to be virtuous. Teach me to be patient. I'm a teacher and sometimes patience is difficult. Teach me to be prudent. Teach me to suffer and to use my suffering as a prayer. Teach me to be content with what I have. Teach me not to envy. Right? Teach me not to gossip. Teach me to love you, and so on. And then I'll break those down into categories. So for an example, teach me contentment. Teach me to be happy with what I have. Teach me to care for what I have. And then to be a good steward of what I have, and then breaking that down. Teach me to be a steward of my time. Teach me to be a steward of my talent, of my treasure. Breaking each of those down. If there's especially what happens in the teach me is you'll find a particular thing that's a problem in that moment. Maybe it's been a month or so where you're struggling with something, or a year, or whatever it is. That one thing will really come forward to you as you break down the categories. So the 20 minutes of thank you are a place of gratitude, obviously. The 20 minutes of teach me are a place of learning humility. That's the thing about teach me. Really, it's just saying, teach me humility, right? Instead of saying, let me teach you how it's going to go, I finally ask him, you teach me how it's going to go. And then the 20 minutes of teach me, you realize you're learning from the greatest teacher, from Christ. 20 minutes of take over. Bishop Dudley, when he taught me this, he said in his mind for takeover, he pictured a shelf on a wall, and this sort of high shelf, and he would take things and put them on the shelf and say, Jesus, you take over this thing. You take over that thing. And he would just keep picturing himself putting things on the shelf. So I have a shelf in my mind now because of him. I think he put it up there. Maybe he was the carpenter who put it up there. So things to take over from me. For example, take over my seeming constant lack of time. Take over a difficult relationship. Take over a prayer that seems unanswered. Take over my fears for the future. Take over, right? Just on and on and on of take over. And again, breaking those categories down as you go. And as time goes on, again, you find the depth of the category of even the minutia that you need to let him take over. The 20 minutes of thank you, gratitude. The 20 minutes of teach me, humility. The 20 minutes of take over is really 20 minutes of Jesus, I trust in you. And sometimes when I can't think of something to say, I'm saying take over, now what? I'll just start saying, Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. And invariably, something will come up that I need for him to take over. Thank you, teach me, take over. Gratitude, humility, and trust. Those are some great things to learn. So in my life, I've had two teachers of adoration. My grandmother, may she rest in peace, and Bishop Dudley, may he rest in peace. How beautiful. But then what I found in adoration is how many more teachers I had. Jesus, Mary, Joseph, the saints. I just felt the flood of them. The angels, my guardian angel. When I'm in adoration, so are they. And I just feel this flood of the saints around me and how beautiful it is to be with them, especially in the middle of the night. But every now and then I go in the middle of the day to adoration. I think, look there you are. You've been waiting for me. Every single time you've been waiting for me and you desire me. So humbling. Adoration is a place of peace. I'm inviting you to come to adoration with me, to come and seek peace, to meet Jesus, Mary, Joseph, the saints, your guardian angel, all in a deeper and more beautiful way. Come and enjoy the peace of adoration.